Okay, it's Friday. It's Q&A Friday, Lance. It's my favorite day of the week for us when you answer questions. And this morning, we have a phone call. In fact, we're going to take it's listener Alex first, who has been holding and has a question for you. Then I got a couple of questions, one from listener Julie. I know Julie is listening this morning, and I believe her husband, and listener Larry, who both messaged us. If you would like to get in on it, you know to tap the app, like we say, 953thebear.com. Good morning, Alex. You're on the air with our financial guy, Lance Hocutt. How are you?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Doing well, thanks. How are you?
We're doing well. Thank you. Thank you for holding. Go ahead.
Yeah, my pleasure. And listen to you guys almost every morning. Steve, Jersey Girl, you guys do a great job.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And thanks for taking my question.
Yes, sir. Happy Friday, man. Let's go for it.
So my credit score is around 600, and I want to correct that remark.
Alex, you're cutting out a little bit with the phone connection. I heard you say something about your credit score. If you want to start over.
Hello?
And we've lost Alex completely.
No.
Well, there he is. It's a bad connection, apparently. Sounds like
Hello?
it. Alex, I tell you what, I want you to call us back.
Yeah, call us back.
Find a landline.
Find a landline. Sorry for that. Call us back, 205-339-4953. I heard credit score, and that's all I heard, but he'll get back with us.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we will go to the question that we received from Julie, and it said, my husband and I managed to put almost $2,000 in an emergency fund.
I love it. They're listening.
Wait till you hear this. My husband wants to tap into it anytime he wants something. Now it's a four-wheeler, not an emergency, as far as I'm concerned. What should the rule be for spending emergency money? We're listening.
It
That's
sounds
Julie.
like a four-wheeler is not an emergency. Sorry to poo-poo that for you, but the whole point of the emergency fund is to make sure if the wheels fall off, the roof blows off, we've got it there for your future, and you're not going to have to go and get credit. So, sorry, dude, I'm going to have to poo-poo that one. We're not going to see a four-wheeler out of that. It's the wife is right. Let's stick with what our original plan was, build up some cash again, and then go buy the four-wheeler.
It would be tempting if you got,
very tempting if it's sitting there.
but it's an emergency fund for a reason. It's called an emergency fund. Julie,
Out of sight, out of mind.
I know Julie's thrilled with that answer. I'm not so sure about the husband, but hey, you shoot them straight, don't you?
That's right.
Is Alex back? All right, good.
back.
Let's go back to listener Alex now and see if we have a better connection. Alex, good morning.
Good morning. Sorry about that, all.
That sounds much better. Much better. Go ahead.
All right. So, Lance, my question is, my credit score is around 600 or so, and I'm really looking to crack that 700 mark and buy a house at some point. What are some ways to get my credit score to 700, and typically how long does that take?
So the first key, and that's a great question. We've had a lot of those about credit recently, whether it's people who have had to delay their house payments, whether they're delaying their car payments. The best way to do this, Alex, is to consistently pay those bills, consistently have lower credit card debt, and those two keys right there will continue to build that credit. You need to watch it. Don't look at it every day. Back after the crisis of 2007 and 2008, all these apps started appearing where you can check your credit daily. Folks, it's not going to move that fast. It's not like the stock market where it's up this much or down this much. It's going to take some time. So you want to consistently watch that. And I'm going to tell you this, go find you a good lender that you can trust. Find that person that you can sit across from. Ask them specifically what types of things that they recommend, because they're dealing with the money. They're the ones holding the bag, and they're the ones that are going to open up that safe to give it to you. So those two keys are going to be really critical. Making that rent payment if you're still in a rental right now, making those car payments on time, those are the most critical pieces. Now, don't go and cancel a credit card, though. We've talked about that before. So even if you pay it down considerably, keep it open, but don't close it, because there is a negative connotation there to the lenders if you go and close that credit card. So keep a low balance, but don't close that puppy.
All right, that is good advice. What if you have no credit? What if you're young, you're just starting out? What if you're like a Jersey girl? You just graduated from Alabama. How do you establish credit if you're just beginning?
So go to the institution where you currently bank, whether it's a credit union, whether it's a local bank. Ask them for a very low balance credit card.
Okay.
It's that simple. Start building it from there. You're going to want to see some. They're going to want to see some consistency. if you've been at the University of Alabama, they're going to look at that. They're going to say, well, this person has some consistency. They've been here, and that's the starting point.
I see.
Go to that institution and make sure that they can help you.
And he mentioned, listener Alex mentioned his score was 600 something, and he wanted to hit 700 because he wants to buy a house one day. In terms of a credit score that basically is going to be favorable when you try to get money or a loan or whatever, get approved for something, what kind of numbers are we looking at?
They want to see 700 and above.
Okay.
And typically in good markets. However, if we start to see some erosion in the financial markets, those lenders start to creep out into the lower credit scores as well. So the higher the credit score, the easier it's going to get to have the money to you, the easier your credit interest rate is going to be. So it's a positive. But even if you don't have the most stellar, don't let that hinder you. Go and seek out a lender. They can find ways to help you. There are programs through the government. There are programs through these lenders that can help you find home ownership. Years ago, Bill Clinton, when President Bill Clinton was in office, he put into place fair housing.
Right.
And that really created part of the debacle that we saw. However, they have perfected that system, and it's getting better and better. So don't let a terrible credit score impede you from finding that American dream, which is ownership of a house.
You mentioned, and we hear a lot about it in these times for sure, deferred payments on things because, it's tight for some people because of a variety of things, including Miss Rona. I think it might be good to caution folks sometimes if it's a deferred payment, you're still going to have to make the payment.
You're still going to have to make
the payment. At some point, it's going to be due, and you're going to be facing it.
The critical thing that I want to recommend to everybody is reach out to that lender first. Don't just not make your payment.
Right.
So reach out to them. Tell them first, I'm having difficulty because of COVID CARES Act. Right? And the COVID CARES Act allows all that to happen. And it will defer it. And Steve, all they're doing is just putting it on the back end of the loan. So you're going to pay it. They're just extending that out 1 month, 2 months, whatever your current situations are.
Is it something that if somebody feels like there is a need that you would say, okay, fine, I understand, go ahead and do it?
Oh, I sure would.
Okay.
Yeah, let's not get into a bankruptcy situation or a foreclosure situation because of COVID. There are a lot of people still suffering. I think 40 plus million still out of work today. And let's go and address it. Don't stick your head in the sand.
Right.
Let's call those creditors. Let's call those lenders and say, I'm having some difficulties. What can you help me do? And when you say COVID, it changes the whole dynamic.
Right. It's a whole different playing field these days, for sure. We have Larry's message that we wanted to, or question for you, wanted to pose this morning. Larry says, my wife and I are talking about a trip to Israel. Do you always recommend travel insurance? Is it worth it? My wife says we have to have it. Is it expensive?
Yes, yes, and yes. Here's why. Let's take COVID. If you're sitting there ready to go on a cruise or across the pond, and if something outside of your control happens, a lot of times you're going to be left holding the bag.
And that could easily happen.
That could easily happen. So the answer is yes, I like to have that insurance. It is expensive.
It is.
But I would rather make sure you lose $100 as opposed to $10,000.
Amen.
You with me? And when I say expensive, relatively expensive to cover those things. I think cruises start back week after next, or 2 weeks.
That's right.
One of my best buddies up in Arkansas is taking a trip. Obviously, he's going to the coast first, but they don't have a dock anymore in Arkansas.
No.
But I talked to him about that, and I said, are you sure this is going to happen? And are you sure you want to be a guinea pig?
No kidding.
On a cruise ship for the first time.
Some good deals, though.
Yeah, it's good deals, but, what are you going to be eating? And are you going to be stuck when they decide, hey, 300 people have it?
Yeah, I might have to wait a while.
I'm waiting a while.
I might be. I'm a wait and see kind of guy.
I think we head south for a little bit and put some sand in our toes.
On the coast of somewhere beautiful.
On the coast of somewhere beautiful.
Tell everybody listening right now, if they want to contact you and have you personally advise them how to do it.
It's real simple. Lance at LanceHoka.com, 205-345-9733. Hey, we are an independent firm. The Lance Hoka Financial Group's an independent firm. We clear through S.A. Stone. God bless you. Happy Friday. We'll see you next week.
Don't feel like you have to leave now. You're welcome to stay, man. You're welcome to stay.